So today the dream is over 20 damage as early as turn 4, combining a mechanic from Karlov Manor and an old strategy combo players love to win with. Hey everyone, Hex here, and today we've got a cool deck melding an amazing disguise strategy with a post-combat fling for massive damage. So the dream is a turn 4 win, but you don't have to do it that quickly. This deck is very resilient. The perfect start would be a turn 2 Pyrotechnic Performer, turn 3 Disguise a Bonebrute, then turn 4 attack, turn your Bonebrute face up before blocks, and it does have Menace, then use Burn Together post-combat for over 20 damage that turn. How so? Well, the Performer is a 2-drop 3/2 with Disguise for 1 mountain that says when it or another creature you control is turned face up, that creature deals damage equal to its power to your opponent. Well, the Hunted Bonebrute is an interesting 3-drop 6/2 skeleton beast with Menace and Disguise 2. It says when it ETBs, your opponent gets 2 1/1 dogs, and when the Bonebrute dies, your opponent loses 3 life. As your Bonebrute never technically ETBs when played face down and disguised, your opponent does not make the dogs. It does 6 damage when flipped over from the Performer, hopefully another 6 damage from the attack, and a further 9 when sacked post-combat with your Fling effect. It is a lot of damage pretty much out of nowhere. Obviously, a lot needs to go right for this to work so perfectly, so quickly, but the rest of the deck helps build our board state before pulling the trigger if we need to win later on. I've got Voldaren Thrillseekers, another Fling effect, but able to put 2 +1/+1 counters on a target creature. If face down creatures get counters, they keep them when turned face up, so that's more damage your opponent would get. And I've got Cacophony Scamp. It's a creature I've played before, and I never mind flinging, especially if it has a couple of extra power on it. I've got Inti, which is great here for pumping our creatures whilst giving us some card filtering, and Harvesters as annoying 2-drops, allowing us to draw cards later on and performing well as a removal. Kumano's are great value cards for us, as is a lot of removal because our opponents are going to have a lot of threats for us to deal with. 26 lands, and that's today's deck. So the alternatives are endless for this today. You can squeeze more instants and go in on the Scamp if you like, with cards like Monstrous Rage, but I felt it detracted from my ultimate game plan, which honestly worked extremely well for me today. You got to play this deck if you love building up combo wins. But enough from me. What synergies between cards from Karlov Manor do you enjoy? Drop your ideas in the comments below. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button if you haven't, and then go ahead and give us a like. Your support means the world to this channel, and I'll catch you again in the next video. Alright, on the play here, and our hand is perfectly reasonable. I'm going to play the Raucous Theater to Surveil. This will enable a Kumano turn 2 and a face down Bonebrute on turn 3 with an extra counter on it, which is important. Opponent with a Boros land and a Kumano. Suggests any type of deck. There's lots of Boros decks on the ladder at the moment. We did draw our Performer. I don't normally play this on turn 2 without any kind of ward, but we're going to drop it because the opponent may want to play a creature here to get some more value from their Kumano. Our Performer does actually enable a 21 damage, I think it is, on turn 4 for us. If we draw a Callous Sell-Sword. So let's go for that. A couple of Lunar Veterans is going to be a little bit annoying for us to keep pace with. But we'll drop our Brute down. As a 2/2 with Ward, it will turn over to a 6/2 with Menace. So loads of life gain for our opponent. They're back up to 21. And a Forge. Going to be another 2 life, isn't it, from the veterans. A lot of life gain I have noticed on the ladder, especially today. I feel like I'm having to do about 40 damage on some games just to find a way to win. These veterans are annoying, and I don't have a clean way to deal with them right now. We could use the Edict. I think they would just get rid of their edging. We could use the Thrillseeker. So let's try and keep their life total pressured to enable a combo win for us, I think. So let's drop the Thrillseeker here. Let's put its 2 backup counters onto our face down card. That will enable an attack, so at least we can get the opponent down to 18. It will also mean when we finally transform this card, it's going to do 8 damage to our opponent. So we get them down to 18. And it is a wedding announcement. Okay. So they're going to gain 4 life this turn with the Forge. Okay, and their cheeky attack here with the Etching of Kumano. I'm going to just have to let that through. I guess I was never going to block that. And that's a Callous Sell-Sword. Just doing the math here. So if we turn over our card here, we're going to do 8 damage straight to our opponent. They'll go down to 12. Callous Sell-Sword will take them down to 4. Then the Brute has a death trigger to take them down to 1, and then we can Thrillseek for that final point of damage. So I think we've got lethal here. Yeah, I think this is going to be a great victory here against a Lifegain deck. I don't know how much damage I did, but it's got to be of over 35 damage here. And yeah, I'm really pleased with that one. All right, then, on the draw, our hand is, again, is pretty reasonable. We have a Performer and a Callous Sell-Sword. We're just looking for our Skeleton Beast, our 6/2. Incidentally, with that card, if you play it as a normal creature, the opponent gets 2 1/1 dog tokens, but playing it as a disguised creature, they do not. So it kind of incentivizes you to want to play that card as a face-down card. But anyway, opponent is playing what looks like an Azorius deck, maybe an artifact deck. They play the Inspector and clay-fired bricks. So I don't want to go too crazy against these decks with white mana, because there's a lot of exile effects. I think one of the annoying things is if you play a face-down card and they've just got a board wipe, as it gets round the ward cost. So we will just play it relatively cautiously here. And Inti on the battlefield for us is a decent card to have there, as it is hopefully trying to fix our cards, but also eventually it will start putting counters on our face down card. There's a Borrow Time. Yeah. Deals with our card. That would not have got our Performer though, as that has got Ward 2. They get in there with their Inspector, okay. Okay, well there's our Bonebrute. Now I'm just going to play this, I think. This will mean that this is kind of maximizing our game plan here for this turn. So hopefully they don't play another creature, because we could win. It is a Seed Shark. So yeah, so the menace of our face down card would have probably been very close to winning. I think they would have gone down to 1. But I think I'm going to want to deal with both their creatures here on the battlefield. Do not want to transform. Sorry, I do not want to flip my face down card yet, because it will lose its ward, and that will enable the opponent to pick it off with a removal spell. So let's just use our removal spells whilst they have creatures in the battlefield. Attack the opponent, put them back down to 20. They gain some life with the bricks. Norn's Inquisitor, okay. Incubate 2. Alright, they're going to be... Oh, and another one. Alright, we're going to have to try and find a way to close this game out soon, because these creatures that they're going to start creating is going to be a little bit annoying. There is a Kumano. So we can do 20 damage. I think we can do 21 damage. Let's go for the win. Let's play the Performer here. Attack the opponent. They don't know what this is transformed into. They may just let this damage through. Hopefully they do. And they do. I had a feeling they might. So we will transform or flip the card, and that's 6 damage to your opponent. They go down to 8, and then we can just fling this for 9 more damage to our opponent. They should have blocked. Alright then, on the play here. And our hand is fine. Got a Thrillseeker strategy going on here. So lots of flinging effects, but no Bonebrute. Opponent with a Boros land. Something to be wary of is their creature land there. Okay. Green mana, so a Naya deck. Alright, well let's drop the Performer here as a 2/2. Play it face down as a disguised creature. And they indeed play a Virtue of Loyalty there. And that is Torrens. Alright, so a token deck for them. So we should be okay if we can get the right cards down. We don't have to attack through them. We can do a lot of damage just by flinging. So we'll keep the pressure on. I think we'll play the Thrillseeker here. Put its 2 counters on our warded creature. And then not going to attack. I think they might block. But I want to keep it back as a blocker anyway. So they follow up with a Jinifei. Okay, so ton of tokens. I'm hoping that they don't find a way to start gaining life each time creatures enter the battlefield. But I think we might have a... I think what we need to do here is play the second copy of Pyrotechnic Performer. And then we can potentially find a way to win just with these 2 cards on the battlefield without using the Brute. So the Thrillseeker's extra damage it does here and there is, I think, really important in this deck. The 2 counters it gives is fantastic. But just being able to block and then ping off another creature with 1 toughness is just fantastic for me. The opponent is getting in there with a few tokens. Well, our creatures have ward, and I don't know if they're going to have a 1 mana green spell. Let's just go for the blocks. Okay, we go down to 15. Do they have a follow-up play? Doesn't look like it, so we can just crack one of our performers here, take the opponent down to 13, and then we can play our Thrillseeker here, pop in the counters on our other face-down card. Then we can turn this face up for its disguise cost of just 1 red mana, and this is going to do 12 damage to the opponent, and then we can use the Thrillseeker's backup ability to do another 6 damage to our opponent, and they are dead. Okay, on the play, this hand is fine. We will keep it. I think we'll play the tap land here. So we do have a performer. I'm not going to play it into open white mana though. I'm going to see if I can get that down as a warded creature. Casting it for its 3 mana. Comes down as a 2/2 with ward 2. So I'm not sure if they would realise what cards are being cast face down. We find a Callous Sell-Sword, which is nice. There's a Goblin, I think, that some mono-red decks play. The Thrillseeker here, putting his counters on the creature means we can take them down to 16. They did play Takasi's Welcome, so it points to a mono-white deck, yeah. Mono-white creature deck, that's Adeline. But we can attack. We've got a good attack here with our face-down card. Don't see why we need to necessarily use removal. Just go for the Thrillseeker and put some more counters on it. So we could post-combat sacrifice this if we wanted to for 6 damage to our opponent, but I doubt they're going to block here. Otherwise they are going to lose one of their premium cards. No, they take the damage. They go down to 10. So we've done a lot of damage very quickly. Going to just pass the turn here. So we can take a few hits from this Adeline. But we should be in a decent spot unless they can deal with our creatures now, because next turn we can just undisguise our creature, doing 7 damage straight to our opponent's face. And then we can just Sell-Sword and fling it to do the last few points of damage to our opponent. So it should be okay, as long as they don't gain a ton of life right now, which they could well do. Okay, I was kind of fingers crossed there that they wasn't going to have a board wipe. It's just a drawbridge to tap down our creatures, but yeah, we can just go for the win here. Just doing a ton of damage to our opponent, 7 damage to our opponent, and then we can just use the Callous Sell-Sword here to fling our opponent for 4 more damage without actually attacking. Okay, on the draw. Seems okay. Opponent with a mountain. And it is a Cacophony Scamp, okay? A card that is in our deck. So it suggests a aggressive deck that our opponent's going to have. So looking for more ways to ruin their plan a little bit. Get some more removal going. 2 Phoenix Chicks, okay. Very fast start by them. So even something like a Go for the Throat isn't fantastic here against 1/1s. I think the best thing for us to do is to drop a creature, then at least if they've got a removal spell, they have to use it on our creature. Now the Scamp is a scary card. I've played this Scamp in many a deck before. It's in our deck because it just does a little bit of incremental damage, and that's Monstrous Rage. That's how the Scamp can be dangerous. So 4 damage to our face when it sacrifices. And took out our creature, and another 2 damage because it had Trample. Okay. I'm looking for a removal spell. We're not in the world's worst position, even though we've taken a lot of damage here. I think I'm going to have to hold open this Go for the Throat. Kumano could help us to get a 3 toughness creature next turn. Go for the Throat can deal with one of these chicks. I'm going to have to just pick off one of them. Okay. Sometimes you just want to go to damage and see if they have a Monstrous Rage. But I think it's best to presume they don't. So they look a little bit mana screwed. So we find a Thrillseeker. Okay. Alright, well, Kumano, it means we're going to get some more creatures next turn. And let's go for the Bonebrute. So it comes down as a 3/3. They're going to struggle to deal with this creature. Fortunately, though, the Phoenix Chick is attacking in the air. And that is antagonize onto their chick. So had we played the Thrillseeker last turn, we could have used the Thrillseeker's backup ability to actually take out that chick. Maybe that was the play. Maybe. We don't know what's in their hand at the moment. We got to just try and close out this game. So let's get this Thrillseeker down. I'm going to have to just put some counters on probably the Etchin, just so we can block their Etchin. And we just got to hope that they don't have a way to pump up their chick. But I guess we can just sacrifice the Thrillseeker now and deal with that. And we will, just pass our turn, block their Kumano here. And then if they've got another hasty creature, we can deal with that as well. But opponent with Kumano, so we go down to 1. That is a precarious life total. And End of Festivities is going to kill us. Alright then, on the play, and this hand is less than ideal. I like the fact we have a Raucous Theater. Opponent has been in the tank for a long time here. So hopefully they're there. We'll just continue playing and we will put that Cliffs into our graveyard. And not a card we need right now. Yeah, opponent is definitely there. They are hovering over their cards. And that is Rafine's Tower. Okay. Alright, Scamp, it is your turn to join the party here. Getting this down as a 1/1. And they are playing a Lunark Veteran. Okay. So we can deal with that now before their life total gets out of hand for us. Cliffs is fine for us there. Comes in untapped, and yeah, we're just attacking with our Scamp. So pretty slow start for us actually here. But maybe that's not too bad because they are... Okay, it looks like they're actually 4 colours so far. They drop their 1/1 down. Okay, and there is our Performer. Well, we'll play this face down because it only costs the 1 mana to disguise this card to bring it to life. And you know what? I'm just going to attack. If they block, they block. The Scamp is not going to be the card that gets us over the line here. We will just keep pressuring their life total, but I think that was fine. So Leyline Binding here to deal with our creature. So that's what they are. They look like they're a 5-color deck. And yeah, they can afford the war cost because they have all their colors of mana. Okay, and we find a cut down. Not the greatest card for us there. Could play the Sell-Sword here as a 2/2, but it's pretty weak play for us. I don't think I've ever cast that card as a creature. Evasion Zendikar for our opponent, so they're ramping away. They are up to 7 now. So that is scary as we find a performer. Do like the fact we have Go for the Throw though. That can deal with any of the threats our opponent has on the that they managed to play this coming turn with their 7 mana, whether it be a Tali or a Traxa. And it is burn down the house. Okay, board. Oh no, they're playing the Devils. Fine. So, nice little card there to attack down the Zendikar. They have 2 mana open, so unfortunately we can't block. I guess we have a free cut down here because they're still going to ping their 3/3, but at least it gets this off the board. I presume they're going to ping their battle. So that doesn't really matter too much. One less devil for us to worry about. So we've got to find a way to do a lot of damage quite quickly before they run away with it. And yeah, we could undisguise or disguise our creature, but we find a Bonebrute. Okay, playing this one face down. All right, are they going to have a way to deal with both of our creatures? Let's not be too aggressive here. Let's hold open the Go for the Throw. So we have a our sort of combo assembled with the Callous Sell-Sword. That is White Sun's Twilight, though. Okay, very unfortunate there. They're just blowing up the whole board. So lots of removal for our opponents. We can just... Yeah, this is going to be a tough one, this isn't it? We're down to 18. They've got 5 mites on the battlefield. That's a Bonebrute, though. Okay, well, let's cast this one. And we're just hoping that they don't have another board wipe or a Leyline Binding here. We're kind of hanging on a little bit. It would also be nice to block one of their mites so that we can just survive an extra turn so we don't take 10 damage. Or we don't take 10 poison over the course of 2 turns. It would be 3 turns. But they have another invasion here. And a Stomper taps them out. Okay. So their mites do not block. That is a key thing to remember. And they're going for our face. Okay. Well, okay, well, I meant to block one. I was going to transform it anyway. Yeah, I've got to be careful there. Just meant to block. We find a Performer. Does that mean we have lethal? I think it might do, because we can just cast this face down, face it up to do 3 damage to our opponent, whack him with the Brute, take him down to 8, and then the Sell-Sword should finish them off by flinging our Bonebrute. I think we just about got there. Yeah, a very powerful turn from us at the end there. I really doubt they thought they were going to be losing when they just cast their White Sun's Twilight. Yeah, that was a good win. Bit lucky. Okay, on the draw. This hand seems fine. We have our Bonebrute. And we draw a Thrillseeker. Okay, well, let's drop the Kumano here. So this is my first game with this deck. I'm excited to see how it gets on. Opponent with a Boros, okay. And reinforcements. Sure. So it looks like they're maybe a Convoke deck. I did build this deck with Convoke in mind. Which is why things like the Scamp are in it. To block and ping something else. So we'll see how this goes. the etch in there is going to enable us to get a Bonebrute down next turn with a counter on it, which is nice. Put it with a Regal Bunnythorn. It comes down as a 3/3. And the Novice Inspector is going to turn it to a 5/5. Okay. Let's find a land. Okay, so I think we'll still go with the face down card here as a 3/3. And yeah, we just need to find a way to keep boosting its power a little bit and then fling it at our opponent, because it doesn't look like we're going to be attacking through their creatures unless they tap out. This card does have Menace on its face upside. They do have a Knight Errant of Eos there. And they find an Inspector. Okay. Okay, so I guess they are going to jam with this rabbit. They do 9 damage, which we will take. That is another Kumano. Okay, so not great. Gonna just go for an attack here with the Brute. Does have Menace. Wonder if they want to lose their creatures here to our Brute. I would go for the Throat, whatever they don't do. So if they double block, I'm gonna go for the Throat, one of them. Okay, they do block our Scamp, so we get to take care of their Knight here and do 2 damage to their Knight. But we get them down to 9, which means potentially, do we have lethal next turn with the Thrillseeker? I think we do, because the Bonebrute would do 7 damage, and then it would have 2 more from the backup. Also, it does 3 damage when it dies. Imodane's Recruiter means they are attacking for a lot of damage here. And I'm very happy that we managed to keep this Go for the Throat open. So we'll block their 2 biggest creatures, and then we'll block their 2nd and 3rd biggest creature, and then we'll take out their rabbit. And do we survive here? We do. We go down to 2, and yeah, we can just attack for the win. I can't believe we won that. Yeah, just go for the Thrillseeker. Opponent nices us and GG's us. That was a good game. It was very close. Could have gone either way.